Hey guys, Harry here, back with another Bricklaying vlog once again. We're just on the block work again, just like last video. This is 6 out of 8 clips on this garage over a 3.5 day period. These particular videos, me laying blocks, was over just 1 day. So for anyone who's gets a bit deceived about with the videos and the build times, I know I've got like 4 videos to like 1 day's footage, but it's just the way I've decided to do it. I'm not a big fan of the hour-long content, so I prefer to split it into like 4 15-minute videos. I think that's where some of the comments, I get basically saying, "Oh, you're slow, you don't get much done." I think some people think every video is just 1 day, but it's actually not. This video is just one little 15-minute snippet of a day, and then the next video will be the same, another 15-minute snippet of the same day. And some videos I've done 3 videos of the same day's work. So I always put in the description how long the build took and how much what my sort of block count or brick count or measure was in one form or another, without going into specific amounts of bricks I'm laying every day. That stays on the bucketing sheet and not on YouTube. But I think that's where the misconception comes from. But I'm not the fastest bricklayer by any stretch of the imagination, but I get plenty done with the situation I work in. A lot of the days I'm working dead solo, like today, and I don't care who you are. If you're a bricklayer and you've worked dead solo, there's only a small percentage of guys who get a lot done on the days where the hod carrier has the day off. A lot of guys, the labour doesn't turn up and it's fucking curtains. Some guys rely heavily on the hod carrier. I'm a little bit more dynamic in that way, where I can sometimes get a bit more done on the days I don't have my dad with me, if I manage it correctly and get the blocks and gear loaded in the certain areas, strategic tub placements and stuff like that. There's nothing to stop you getting a lot of work done on days on your own. I think I've laid about 800 bricks on my own in 1 day, so it's something that it can be done. I laid 950 with my dad, so you might say 150 bricks more for just having your old man with you, but it makes the day a lot easier. It's not about just how many bricks you can lay in a day, it's about how easy it is laying those bricks, so or blocks. But on this day we're still running in at the same side of the garage. I've got footage from me running in both sides of the garage. The back of the garage only took me literally like 10 minutes to build, so I didn't bother recording that because I had 2 big rack backs with only like 20 blocks to fill in at the back. So the back was already basically built by building the corners. The line I'm using is the second day using the Spear and Jackson lines. I got these a few weeks ago, but I only currently just started using them after realising my Rolson ones were a bag of shit. They're really quite good. They're really thin, a lot thinner than any line I've used before, and they're pretty stretchy, so you can pull them. I can easily see myself snapping these lines if I'm not careful, so I'm very cautious for not over pulling lines. As I've said before in previous videos, that I'm a big believer that the harder you pull the line, the more you're actually stretching the line fabric itself instead of pulling it tighter. It gets to the point where sometimes it's not getting any tighter, it's just stretching the line and getting it towards snapping point. So it's something to bear in mind, really. But as you can see here, I went from picking the block and the trowel at the same time to leaving the trowel on the mortarboard. I still kept it within arm's length, so I wasn't really losing any time. I'm still on the fence about these trowel magnets and Bricky's Buddy or Magnet Master, the Salon SP tools. I was going to get one, but they went out of stock really quick, and I don't tend to be one of these people who just buy stuff straight away. I was trying to wait for a few reviews to come out before I bought one and reviewed it myself, but it seems I haven't seen a review on it yet. And they went out that quick. I think they went out within a couple of hours of them going live, so I'm a big believer of not spending more than you actually earn in a week. So I don't tend to, even though I might have savings or whatnot, I don't tend to spend more than I earn at all. I just think this is a slippery slope to becoming skint. So I'm very some might call me tight, but I'm very particular about what I spend my money on. With having a mortgage and a house and kids and, you know, a missus, you know, it's just something, you know, I'm not a selfish person. I have sort of a bit of a Jedi mentality where I'd want to help someone else before helping myself. So I'd, you know, wherever I can save money, I will do. That's a big reason why I'm making my own mortar stands, because at the end of the day, they're just something you put in mortarboards on. They're not, you know, they're not something that's an active tool. It's just something to make your life easier. And a lot of the time, lifting a few extra blocks, taking an extra 10 seconds to lift a few extra blocks up to put your boards onto, does the same job as a mortarboard stand. That's why I refuse to pay the highly inflated price for a bit of, you know, steel or aluminium, you know, stands, when I could make some out of Tyler's lat. So I'm going to make a video on me making the mortarboard stands. The video that I'm going to be copying off, I'm going to be blanket copying a video by a guy called Mortar Life. He's a new guy. Sounds like from the Stoke-on-Trent area. Again, it's just like another bricklayer from Stoke-on-Trent making videos. It seems there's about, you know, 4 or 5 guys making videos from that area. Probably more than that. It seems to be very popular in Manchester and the Stoke area, people making videos. So he made a video making the mortar stands out of Tyler's lat, and I'm going to modify his design a little bit, but it's basically going to be the same. And I'm actually going to I'm going to screw and glue my mortar stands as well, using PVA glue or joiner's glue. So if I can acquire a nice tube of joiner's glue on site, hopefully having the glue and screw combo will just give them a bit more longevity and a little more sturdiness. I plan on taking a bit of sandpaper to the Tyler's lat as well, smoothing off the edges, no worse than a fucking, you know, a wood splinter. So I'm going to make a really nice job of them. My old man's agreed to lend me his crosscut saw, so, you know, like a table saw sort of thing. So I'm going to set them up on my little plastic trestles I've got with a board, get some half clamps on it, and make some really nice angled cuts, and some really, you know, make them with millimetre precision. Not something we do very much on site these days in the bricklaying world, but, you know, it's what the firms, it's what firms are wanting on brick. You know, on a lot of sites now, they're wanting it to the millimetre, and, you know, I'm a big believer with, you know, bricklaying and masonry isn't one of them trades where you can be to millimetres, but because the materials vary wildly, that's why we have tolerances. I'm a little bit old school in that mentality of thinking, but it seems there's just a you know, a generation of yes men in the bricklaying world who will just try to appease anything that management request, when a lot of the sort of build programs and the ideas and the, you know, the regulations, the way they want the house was built, it's just unobtainable what they're wanting a lot of the time. So you have to strike a happy medium. You've got to nod your head and carry on building the way you've always built, and try not to get pulled by the NHBC, man. But yeah, that's the least of your worries a lot of the time on these sites. The least of your worries is a PG in the management. A lot of the time your work speaks for itself. I saw a comment on a Bricklaying page with someone saying that, and someone replied to that with saying, what does your brickwork say? But yeah, let your work speak for itself. That's the best advice I could ever give, is let your work speak for yourself. Your face work and your brickwork, and if it's gauge level and plumb and to the measurements, that will do the majority of your talking. You won't have to defend your point very much further than that. So yeah, so I think we're getting towards the end of this clip, because I'm on the last course now, and I enjoyed building this garage. It was really nice. This site in particular, I'm a big fan of the smaller sites. I've just recently been sent back to do a bit of remedial work and a bit of tidying up of some cut-ups and other work that's been left by other gangs. And it's on a site that's really big, and everything's miles away. It's getting your gear is a logistical nightmare. And I just find these smaller jobs, you make so much more money on them. You know, your gear's right there. You can see it from where you're working. Like, the ready mix tubs were literally about... I could see them from where I was working. I could have basically bucketed the gobbo to where I was working if the forklift had broke down. I could have wheelbarrowed it, you know, about fucking 10 or 15 feet from where they, you know, where they drop the ready mix. It's just so much easier on smaller sites. So hopefully I'm gonna have a word with the supervisor in the future and try to get them, you know, on smaller, you know, on these nicer, smaller jobs. You know, it just works a lot nicer for smaller gangs as well. You know, it's just a lot less stress than some of these bigger firms and bigger sites. It's just a lot nicer. So, yeah, coming up to this last couple of blocks now, I was chatting to one of my mates on site today. Chatting to my mate Noel again. It was so I was just steadying down these last few blocks. It's always nice when it's maybe a few more. The camera angles change. It's always nice running on a site and you got friendly people around you. You know, it makes it a nightmare when the forklift driver cuts up funny and stuff. You get it on all sites. You know, there's forklift drivers. They get really, you know, they could get really arsey with you, and it is mainly that. I know I'm very biased against a forklift driver, but that's a lot of the time the only people I have problems with on site is because you're relying on them to get you your gear, so you have to, you know, ask them for things all the time, and obviously it's one of the things that a lot of the time where you'll have hassle. I'm pretty good at dealing with him now, but try not to like my old man don't like dealing with him, so I have to deal with him. But that's the only thing that can really, you know, it can really put a spanner in the day is if you've got a bad forklift driver, you can't get your gear, or they're cutting up funny with you. It can really make your life quite hard. So if you can get on a site that's got a nice forklift driver, gets your gear pretty swiftly, it's somewhere you want to stay. But at the end of the day, you've got to go where the work is, and it's just one of the facts of modern price work as a self-employed bricklayer. You know, there's things that, you know, that are out of your control a lot of the time. So yeah, well, we're coming to this last video here, last clip, and next video I think I'm going to talk a little bit about. I've not 100% decided yet, but I think next video is going to be more on an unrelated topic. It's going to be probably going to be revolve around day work and my thoughts on day work and whether price work's more stressful or less stressful than day work. Whether there's more pressure on you when you're on day work to get a job complete, rather than being on price and completing it when you see fit. And yeah, that's going to be next video's next video's topic. I've done a fair amount of day work myself, doing remedials, doing finishing plots from other gangs, tidying up messes that other bricklayers have left, and I always find those days a little bit more stressful when I'm not working to a price or working on my own terms. I always find them days a little bit more stressful, so that's something I'm going to go into a bit more depth the next video on. So I hope you guys stay around, stick around and subscribe, and for more videos. I've had a lot of the guys who on the sites I work on who know me have seen the videos, so shout out to you guys, and hope you're enjoying them or getting a few laughs out of them. To be honest, making these videos is the last thing I thought I'd be doing, but I'm quite surprisingly enjoying them. So thanks a lot for watching. Like the video, subscribe if you enjoy, and hit the notification bell for daily bricklaying vlogs. I'll see you in the next one.